Recording. All right, so I want to welcome everybody to this presentation. Actually, let me just share my screen and get this up first. Here we go.
Oh, we have a small group today. This is an intimate presentation.
Yes, it will be an intimate presentation. Yes. So, okay. All right. So I want to welcome everybody to this presentation on how to write an attribution for Creative Commons. I shall begin. Oops. What is that? Giving me troubles here. All right, so the objectives for today, I'm gonna just do a brief review of what open resources are, discuss the difference between copyright and an open source license, the types of Creative Commons licenses, the difference between a citation and an attribution, how to write an attribution, and then how to find some open resources. So open resources are basically these 5 R's. This is a little review of what I've kind of talked about in the past. So an open resource is content that you create on your own that you can make, you own it, you can control how many copies are made, and things like downloading and making duplicates and things like that. And then revising that content, how it's adapted in the work that you're using it for and modifying it. Even translating to another language is another way of adapting content. And then remixing it. So you can take other sources and mix it in, whether it's other open resource content or other content that you've borrowed from other people. And redistributing, basically sharing it, like in our in education, sharing it with our students, or just sharing it like saying in a brochure and putting it into the community. And then reusing it. In different areas, whether it's in education or in the community setting or anywhere. So basically the difference between copyright and open source licensing. Copyright is something that's automatic. You create something, you automatically have a copyright. You don't have to do anything to get copyright. There are legal rights, lots of different rules and regulations that I'm not versed in, but it's for specified period of time, and content can't be modified or copied without permission. So with open
Jamie, can I ask a question? Is it all right to? I'm sorry to interrupt. If you'd like, I'll hold it to the end. I'm just curious that this is copyright related to Creative Commons. You're saying, right?
No, copyright is different from Creative Commons. So you've got open licenses like Creative Commons. That's one of many different types of open sourceware, okay?
But don't you have to apply for a copyright?
No, when you create something, like say you make a video, it's copyrighted. Right. It's yours. You don't have to apply.
You know what? I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can officially, you can officially get a copyright and specify other terms and things, but that's like a whole area that I don't.
Okay, sorry, this is new to me. Okay, thank you.
Yep. So, and then the open source licenses, what they do is they give the creator the ability to say, okay, this is how I want you to use my work. It's all about how I want you to use it and the stipulations and the rules about it. And so there's a number of different organizations that have these open licenses, and Creative Commons is the most common one that's used. You don't have to apply for a Creative Commons license. You can just learn about the license and apply that license to your work. So there's 4 different attributes of a Creative Commons license. The first one is attribution or characteristics. So attribution is one that all of the licenses have. You need to give credit to the creator of the work, okay? The other stipulation the author puts on the license is whether or not the person who borrows that work can make money on it, whether it's through publishing, you want to publish your book through a publisher, something like that. whether or not the person can make changes or adaptations to that work, okay? Or distribute or share that work with other people, okay? And so you can see I've got what's called an attribution at the bottom of this page where I retrieve this information. And I'll go into that in a little bit. This is giving me trouble. Okay, so I want to briefly review the different types of Creative Commons licenses because you need to know what the different icons mean. You can see on the right whether or not you can share or you can modify, or not that you're making money on what you create here, but I'll review each of them briefly. So this first one here, attribution license, it's called CC BY on the top left. That's the most common one. That just means you just need to, if you want to use that person's work, you just need to give credit and write that attribution statement. This next one, attribution share alike, that means you need to give credit. That's the by part, the little person. And then the share alike means if you use that work, you need to share the same exact license. So if the license is just like this, you need to borrow it and give attribution, and then your license needs to have the share alike icon, the share alike rule on that work. So if somebody else borrows the work that you borrowed, they also need to share it with that same license, okay? This one on the bottom is attribution non-commercial. So give credit, but the person cannot make money on it, okay? And then the attribution, non-commercial and share alike, just what it means. Give credit, you can't make money on it, and you need to share the same license when you share that same work. And then attribution, no derivatives. So you need to give credit, but that little equal sign means that you can't make any changes. So if, say it's a video that you borrowed, you can't edit the video. You have to share the video the same exact way that it's been created by the author, okay? Same thing with an image. You can't change it, or wording, a brochure. You can't take out just what you want, okay? Any questions on the types of, actually there's a couple more. It's just a combination of all of these, basically. Can't make money, you need the first one. Credit, can't make money, can't make any changes. And then this last one here is public domain. Basically, you can use it, you don't even need to give credit. Okay. Any questions on the licenses before I move on? They're pretty straightforward. Okay. So citation versus attribution. So we think of citation, I think of it as more of a reference on the way it's used here in the language with giving credit to the authors. So for copyrighted works, the concept that's used is citation or a reference. And APA formatting is how you're going to share that information. With Creative Commons licensing, the concept of attribution is used, and an attribution statement is shared when you use that work. So you can see this attribution statement down below is what you would use, and that's where I retrieved this information for this page. Okay, and so how to write an attribution?
Jamie, I have one quick question. Really.
Yeah, sure.
And this is actually a broader question.
Yep.
And so when a person writes something, a work, or produces a work, and it's under their name, but they have a name change?
Do you mean, is it with Creative Commons or just in general?
In general.
In general?
You know what you do with a name change?
I don't know, because that would be copyright if you're not assigning a Creative Commons license on top. Because when you have I'm not sure about that question, but when you do have a Creative Commons license, you still have copyright. Copyright doesn't go away, but the Creative Commons license allows you to then share it, be able to share it and say how you want it shared. But with straight copyright, I don't know. With Creative Commons, I wonder if you have to go back to that work. I'd have to research that for you. If it
Yeah,
was
I just was wondering. In fact, I saw an article about it in a Chronicle of Higher Education, because it's not just when people change their last name when they, marry or something. It's now, a person changes their gender.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and how do you give credit to that author when the author has changed their name?
Huh.
I just
Good point.
wondered if you knew that, the answer to that.
I haven't come across any of that name change. I'm sure it's out there for Creative Commons, but I don't know. I don't know. I can find out. So,
Okay, thanks.
right. Sure. So writing the attribution, you need 4 bits of information. Just use this acronym. So you need the title of the work. And one caveat to the title is, so right now Creative Commons is in version 4.0. So versions 1 through 3, it was mandatory that you had to have the title in the attribution, but with 4 you don't. Okay. Author, where's the source, and that's in a hyperlink form, and then the license is also hyperlinked. So I'll give you an example. So for my textbook, this is how it would be. It'd be Transitions to Professional Nursing Practice as the title, and then I'm the author. And so then what you do with the source is, right now the textbook is it's kind of in the middle right now. I have a link for the textbook at the Open SUNY website. So that link is embedded in my name. And then the license, I've chosen a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. And so I'll show you here. When you link on that, this is where the textbook lives in OER services. And so basically, I can just show you real quickly here. Kind of, this is the textbook, and this is how students will see it. They won't see OER part, but this is what they're going to see when they look at the book.
Jamie, we're not seeing that.
You're not? Oh, no, you know why?
It didn't go off of your slide.
You know why? Yeah. I probably could have saved it a different way. Anyway, I apologize. But anyway, you know what that means? I might have to share and unshare, because when I do the links later on, I'll do that in a little bit. So do you understand that linking, that my name is linked to the site where that book lives? Okay. Okay. And so this is the final attribution statement for the book. You've got the title, which you put in parentheses, in quotation marks. And also what I've done was, in books, how you put page numbers, I put the chapter. I have students put in the chapter. I don't see any direction in the attribution part of Creative Commons site as to noting chapters in books. So I took this upon myself to just add this to the title. And then you've got the source hyperlinked within the author. And then this will take me, again, I'll show you that link in a little bit. And then for the in-text citation, the students will look at the cover page, the front matter, I think that's what they call it, for the publication year. And so the citation would be our APA type citation. Okay. Because most
Jamie,
of the
quick question.
Yes.
If somebody is citing in text, so is it the same thing that they would put the page number, or is there a page number in an OER?
It's not. In how my book is set up, it would be paragraphs. There's no page numbers. So yeah.
So you do a section, you just do like the name of the section and the paragraph within that section, like you do. I mean, that's how you do an online journal that doesn't have page numbers. It's the same thing.
Right. I haven't given them that direction just yet. I'm still, and maybe I'll get some ideas from you as to how I should be directing them with this. And that's why I've done this, and I've had students put multiple attributions, whether it's, sorry about that. whether it's multiple sections in multiple subchapters, because baccalaureate education is a subchapter. I haven't had them put the section within the subchapter. I can imagine they're citing from a variety of places. We'll talk about that. Still kind of a work in progress there with that. So I wanted to go over how to cite images. It's not cite, but give attribution. So this is an image that I obtained from the CC search website. That's Creative Commons search website. So for an image attribution, it's pretty straightforward. You've got the same title. Travel and Photo is the author, and I've linked the source of that image in with the author. And this license is a CC BY non-commercial 2.0. So unfortunately, I can't click on that right now. You're not going to see it. I wanted to show you the difference between the licenses, but when I'm done with this, then I will get to that part. Okay. And so then this license, this attribution would be basically similar to the other, the title, the author, hyperlinked source, and the license at the end. And so with these, you want to make sure that you have the license hyperlinked. Normally we do remove the hyperlink with our APA formatting references, but not with these types of licenses. And obviously the source has to be hyperlinked. Okay. So if you want to modify an image, right, there's a couple of different ways to go about this. So for example, this is the same picture. I just kind of changed the size of it, and I also kind of made it a little, what they called, I just found that they use the word desaturated online. So I use that here. So you pretty much, you write the same exact attribution statement, and then you just add at the end what you changed about that image. So reduce size and desaturated from original. Okay. Now, for example, if you want to alter the image and change the title, you're essentially kind of writing two different attributions together. So you begin with this work, if cats could talk, they would feed me more. That's the new title. It's a derivative of the old title. And then you finish off with that same attribution of the author, source, and license. Then you want to follow it with the new title you just gave it, because you made it smaller and you changed the look of it. And then you want to then put on your own license. Now, if this original license had share alike, I would have to put that same exact license on mine. But since I don't have to, I gave it just an attribution, okay? So this means people can make money on it if they want to. This license does not allow people to make money on it, okay? Any questions about that? I mean, if you're just cropping a picture very little bit just to fit into your course, the literature, the Creative Commons site says you don't have to like do this whole change, but it's just something to keep in mind if you're making a significant change. Especially if you're changing the color, like you're really changing what it really looks like. Okay, so this is where I really want to, I kind of need to change I have to stop sharing so I can now do it this way. Okay. What I'd like to do though, before I do that, is go here. So now that I'm on this site, tell me if you can see. So travel and photo, I'm going to click on this. This is going to be the source where this image came from. You see where I am by chance? Yes? Okay. So this is where that image came from. But if you remember before, I got this from CC search website. CC search website, which I'll go into in a little bit, they've got images from all different sources. So you might get it from one site, but it really comes from Flickr, okay? Not that it matters, but it's just something to keep in mind, okay? So this is where that image came from. And then we'll click on the license, and now you're gonna learn what the rules are about this type of license. So this CC BY and 2.0, you can share it, you can adapt it, change it, however you like. And then, but under here, these are the terms of this license. Attribution, give credit, and then non-commercial. So basically, you can't have any monetary compensation. And you can get more information about this by clicking that link. Now, if you take a look at the license that I just put on this license, on this image, it's the just an Attribution 4.0 CC BY. So again, you can share and adapt the work, and you just have to give attribution, okay? All right. So looking for images, this can help with kind of switching out some of your old images in your course if they're not yours. Now this is the CC Search website where I put in some images and it brought me to Flickr, okay? So this comes from the Creative Commons website, and they've got lots of images, and I'll just put in like geese or something. And you can see when you hover over these images, you can see the license. It's an attribution. You can't make money, and you can't make any changes to this work whatsoever. All right, and then you can also click on that work, and it can give you the, why don't I just do that? And I did want to do that, yes. And so here's the attribution for this work, and you can copy this, and then you can just go ahead and paste in that attribution to your work. If you want to embed this image, then you've copied this HTML code, and you can just put it right into your work, okay? And okay, and now Google. So I just put in the Creative Commons as my link here to Google, but here's that CC Search site if you want to go to it straight. So you can find, so Google has like a setting that you can find only Creative Commons content. So to do that, you go to Settings, you go to Advanced Search, and then you scroll down to the Usage Rights. And then you can choose down here. I suggest choosing free to use, share, modify, even commercially. Because if you choose this one, they've removed the commercially, and it does reduce your search options. So I suggest going there, clicking advanced. And what you'll often find, I'll put something else in here. I'll put in geese again. You find a lot of Wikipedia things here. But this brings me to Flickr. That brings you to Flickr. So this happens to be an all rights reserved. So you never know, that would not be a Creative Commons. So you just do need to be aware. Let's see what this one is. That's news. But sometimes be surprised what people license as, nope, that's copyrighted as well. It's not a perfect thing, what I've found, but overall it works. But as long as you understand the settings here, so it's advanced search, it's pretty quick. And Flickr, well, we did Flickr, but I'll just show you one other thing. I already chose the birdhouses. Oh, see, that's all rights reserved. There was another one. Just bear with me. There was one on here. I apologize. Is it that one? Yeah.
So if it says all rights reserved, you can't use it.
Right. It's not the. It's not Creative Commons. No,
Creative Commons,
you can't.
right.
You can't.
Right.
Now, oh, I apologize. I apologize. I meant to click this and show this to you. Creative Commons, I apologize. That was one step I left off accidentally. So here we go. Now we will click that. Some rights reserved. You can see the little attribution guy down here. And it brings you right to the license, and it tells you exactly what you can and can't do. So you just need to give attribution. Okay. YouTube. Okay, so I'm here at the Tufted Titmouse site here. You can tell I like birds a little bit. So you want Tufted Titmouse. So you want to go to your filter, and they have a Creative Commons link. So you're going to click here, and we will click this one. I'm just going to stop it. Okay, so you're going to find the license under here. This view attributions doesn't give you anything. You want to look here at Creative Commons attribution. And unless this video belongs to somebody else, that's what this paragraph tells you. If the author chooses this Creative Commons link for their video, they're granting the entire YouTube community the right to reuse and edit the video, okay? So that's how you find the Creative Commons for YouTube. So you can see how Google, Flickr, and YouTube all have the Creative Commons links within where the authors can identify that these have some sharing abilities. And Pixabay, which offers a lot of, actually, almost all non-attribution. I didn't say that correctly, but where's my mouse disappeared? Wow, I can't see my mouse. Okay. Wow, this is weird. I don't see it. Oh, gee. Oh, there it is. Now it is. Okay. So free for commercial use, no attribution required. But I do want to show you one thing about this. So you download it, and then you choose whichever megabyte, kilobyte you want. You download it. I'm going to have to go through this here. So mountains or hills? I guess that's a mountain. Let's see. Cars. Cars. Okay. So now we'll download it. And this is what I wanted to show you here. Now it's going. Okay. So they ask the borrowers to give credit to the author. So what you can do is put this image by Pixels, that's the author, from Pixabay, this site. So they're asking for you to then copy this and put this attribution by that image. So that way this author can get a little bit more exposure to more visits to that site, okay? Not mandatory, but it's there. They also ask to donate money. So, whoops. So Pixabay is largely, I've used Pixabay a great deal in my book and going to use more as I can in the courses. But overall, you can get a really nice variety of images for your classes or for personal work that you're doing. And I just included this slide just for the Google and for the settings so you can find, so you can understand how to get that in there, okay? You know what I'd like to do is go back to the beginning and show you the book real quick. So when students click on that, this is the book that I wrote. Students aren't going to see it in this format, but this is what it will eventually look like on the Open SUNY textbook website. And so this is like the title page. It's still a work in progress getting it done, but this is where they can see the publication date. I'll go back. That's all right. This is the basic introduction, and on the bottom of every page, you can then see the attribution. It is a little bit different the way they set it up here. It's in the same order. So you've got the title, the author. I'm not sure why they wanted it provided by. And then this is the link to the book, and this is the license. And then again, you click on the license and you get to the Creative Commons site.
Jamie, I have a question.
Yeah.
The way that this works, is there any way for you to track who might be using your text, or you have no idea?
No, I asked them that. They said they just look at downloads. So it's so
that could just be someone looking at it. That doesn't mean they're using it.
Exactly. Because I asked them that. I said, I've downloaded a few of the books, but I think it's something that they're looking into doing at some point. Because students aren't going to be really going to SUNY textbook website. So when they look at it in my classroom, I would think, and maybe during the Moodle Tools thing, I could find out if this can be this click. It's a special link that I have in the design course right now, where maybe it's part of the reports. I can see how many students are looking at it. I don't know. So, but this is basically what you'll be able to see when I give you the link. Right now, everything is in Pressbooks. I have to do one more check, and then it's going to go to PDF and blah, blah. We're getting there. So anyway, so that's the attribution. Again, I think I do have to look into how the citations are and the location. Any suggestions I appreciate. But do you have any questions about attributions or Creative Commons?
Are you going to share this with the campus at large?
I can, I can. I didn't. I'm trying to get out of this 1 second. Okay. Stop the share. I didn't open it up to the college. I'm more than willing to maybe even do a presentation during the staff development.
So that's what I'm saying. I think this is something that should be done in January.
Yeah.
And even expand on it some with the last one that you did, maybe put them together, because this is pertinent to everyone. It
is. I know. Yeah. When that comes out, I'll be more than happy to set it up. Yeah, I can even
I'm sure that there's more violations than people actually doing it correctly.
I know. They're still in my course. It's on my list. All of us.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and I think
I have to run. I'm sorry, but thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this.
Yes, you're welcome.
And Jamie, one thing I noticed is you would have to record that and then make it available to them when you do those professional and staff development workshops through the college, because there will probably be, depending upon when you do it, there'll probably be a lot of people that won't attend, but that this would be relevant to them. So maybe just,
Okay. Right, just do the presentation.
Yeah, I don't know where they house recordings or if they do, but they really should if they don't.
Right. I'll have to, I think Lori's on that committee. I can talk to her about that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
I'll talk to her.
Because, for people that, and sometimes because they have those programs during the breaks between semesters, they're not well attended.
Right.
I can't speak for the on-campus ones because I'm not on campus, but for the Zoom ones, they're not well attended.
Right. Well, all we can do is try. So
I realize it's two separate things to have, APA and
it is
Creative Commons. But what I'm wondering is, since we're going to have a new APA manual coming out, if they would address any of that in the manual.
Right. it is open courseware is out there. When is it coming out? Do you know?
Well, we just heard that it will be maybe 2020, wasn't it? Didn't they talk about that in the faculty and staff development or the faculty meeting? I thought somebody said there's a new manual coming out, and I would think
It's supposed to be 2020. We could hope.
2020.
Okay, that was the first time I heard of it. So yeah, I hope.
I just wonder how hard it'll be to get a copy of that compared to previous years.
Yeah. Well, they've got to print like hundreds of thousands of
Not
them.
billion.
Yeah.
Well, and that's tough because you know where everything is in the old manual, and that's all going to change.
I know. Should I stop the recording? Are we done? Versus, unless we have, I just don't want to have, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay. Unless you have other questions about the, but actually before I stop, I do want to make that comment about, I looked up APA formatting, APA, with Creative Commons. There is absolutely no connection whatsoever. So I was kind of just using my own guidelines with having a regular citation. I know there are other people using open resources on campus. I know John Horner is. I've been working with him to get this in the course. I'm going to ask him what he's doing with citing, having students cite work. That might be something to put out to the larger community. I don't know how, maybe I'll ask Carrie about that, how they're actually advising students to cite that work.
well, and does he use APA? Because we know not everybody is all on board on campus as to what formatting they expect their
Right.
in.
And well, whatever formatting, there'd be some type of citation.
Right, but it might be MLA.
If it's MLA, that's just a little 1 or something, right? Is that 1 or 2 or 3? Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So that's that. But I'm going to look into that. I'll talk to Carrie Fishner in the library, see what the expectations are when they're helping students with their work. So.
Okay, well,
All
thank
right.
you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'll